Hello, everyone. It's another episode of Tailgate Talk. We're your hosts. It's me, David, with Joey Mayo and Nikki Two Step Boys, side of the people.
Howdy.
Howdy.
Well, last week sucked for me. Nick, I'm sure it sucked for you. Joe, I
Yep.
think it also sucked for you, right?
Yeah, not good.
So, so I'm going to give us 5 minutes. Let's just go ahead and get it out of our system. Say what you need to say, and then we'll get into the picks. All right?
You want me to go first or
Well, if you go first, we might spend all 5 minutes just on you. So,
I'll
no?
go first. I'll go first. I'll go first. Um, yeah, it was just, especially to make it even worse, the fact that we lost is bad enough, but getting the quotes from the Dabo camp is concerning to say the least. Look, I had a couple people ask me what I thought about it during the week, and I was going to save it for you guys now. And the exact words I said were, "I love Dabo, but he's using past success to excuse the mediocre play since Trevor left. Great, we won the ACC, but once you win national championships and have best as a standard plastered all over your facilities, you're setting the stage for fans to be disappointed when you lose to Duke or you lose to Georgia Tech or Louisville, and to lose every meaningful game except for a last-second kick against SMU. I don't want to fire him, but I want him to recognize that it's been this way since 2021, and saying, "Oh, we're right there," just isn't good enough anymore. And I like he keeps saying we're a couple plays from 3-0. Okay, I'd rather be 3-0. So whatever's going on, we have too experienced of a team to be this way, especially when you have a senior quarterback. You have the every receiver, starting receiver is returning. Like the D line that we heard so much about, we haven't really heard much about him during the season, except for Peter Woods. Like it's not what it should be. And to say we're Clemson fans are whining or like it's okay, we're like a couple plays away. That like, I'm sorry, that's just when you're at a program that wins championships, you don't take that. So that's just my thought process on it.
May I, real quick, just on the Clemson thing? This is going to be short and sweet, but two things. Number one, they lost that game not because they had less talent than Georgia Tech. It simply came down to the fact that Georgia Tech ran it down their throats, and unfortunately, that's not rubbing it in. Like I would say the same thing if Notre Dame lost that way. They got out toughed and they got out wanted.
They got out
And
coached.
yeah, and they got out coached. And that's great for Brett and Key on the Clemson side of things. That stinks because like you said, best was the standard, and you're not meeting that standard right now, which is why Clemson is where it's currently at right now. Number two on the Clemson thing, and this is the last thing I have on the Clemson thing. There are do you guys remember Chip Kelly or not Chip Kelly? Andy Reid when he was on the Eagles. He was
Mm-hmm.
very successful, very uber successful. Took them to NFC Championship games left and right, and he had great players. He had great scheme. It was the Eagles, the Eagles, the Eagles. And I remember when he left the Eagles, I was like, why is he leaving the Eagles? And I couldn't understand how I'm so bad so quick. And I think this situation kind of reminds me of that. And I know you guys are going to shut me down, but just hear me out. Like, I think that eventually coaches wear out their welcome no matter how successful they are. And I know he's still welcome because I know his reputation there and I know his lore that he has in Clemson, South Carolina. But I would not be shocked if at the end of this year, if he does not do as well as he should, he may start looking for other jobs because his welcome will be worn out, especially if he drops another game or especially if he doesn't win the SEC or the ACC, I'm sorry, and especially if he does not go to the playoffs. Because that, like you said, that is the standard. And again, that's more rumor mill, that's more speculation, but I think that eventually he's going to wear out his welcome. And even if it's not this year, I think next year because I don't think he's done coaching and I don't think he's done being successful. I just think that he's in this weird situation right now at Clemson where we don't know what's next. And that was the best thing about Dabo is you always knew what was next. Week in and week out, you knew what to expect from Dabo. We don't know what to expect from Dabo right now. Those are my two things.
Joe, I can't agree with you more that when when you look at hard work and talent, hard work will always beat talent when talent fails to work hard. That's a tried and true proverb, and that's what we saw on Saturday. That's what happened. Georgia Tech wanted that game more than Clemson. And unfortunately, we have seen that more and more recently with Clemson, where there's a sense of entitlement to just think that you're going to go in and knock these teams around, that you don't have to show up until the second half. This is 2 weeks in a row that Clemson has started off slow and really didn't show up until the very end of the half or the start of the second half. This is 3 games in a row where the offense has looked anemic and the defense, while it has done what it can, has also shown some leaks. And, these players coming back, it's expected to be a very experienced team. And at that point, you look at it and say, look, they brought in a couple of transfers, not a lot, but a couple. The talk around this was with the talent that was there, the expectation was championship or bust. And at the end of the day, if the team is not performing up to its standard, and Dabo's the first one to say it, it falls on him and coaching. They need to do better. And he's the first one to say that. So I'm just pointing to what he's already said, not putting it on anyone else's blame, but that's what coming from the horse's mouth. It's how this works. Um,
But
I I believe that this year will be another test of how much this team can band together. I think that that is something that I hope to see. I hope that they're able to take this first loss in ACC play and run the table because now they have to. I hope they change the narrative where at the end of the year when they play South Carolina, they're finally able to get the first win in 5 tries now against SEC competition, and that they whatever the end of the season holds for them, that this team does not fracture, because that is the one thing that I've been able to count on with Clemson, with their culture, the way that they have built this team for years on end, is that where other teams would take the lunch pail and go home, this team comes back. And so I'm gonna have to see it this year because we're 3 games in, haven't seen Jack yet. Um, no one
I,
has. That's just how this we're still in the first month of football. So to think that we know any team is sorted out, even teams that are playing really well like Florida State, you gotta wait and see. You gotta show in week in week out. You can certainly play yourself out of a national championship in September, but you can't win yourself into it in September. You have to win it in October. You have to win it in November. This is one of the great grueling tests of college football is can you win when it matters? And so far, Clemson has not been able to do that. So
and I think that the first two games, right? They escaped danger, and this week they faced just an opponent who they couldn't get out of the hole, unfortunately. And I know that that's what you guys have seen too. And you guys know I root for Clemson, but let's say hypothetically he does not get it back on the right track or as good of a track as we all think he should. Do all of a sudden the Tyler from Spartanburgs become louder on the radio? Does the
for
heat
sure,
crank up? Like again,
that's my next point. I'd like to
I'm
definitely
not
talk about. I agree. I agree.
I'm not saying like fire him right now because there's not many coaches in this country that are better than him. But when those talks get the way they're supposed to, because this sport, the one we love, is the way it is with fandom. And last year it was Tyler from Spartanburg, but this year it's going to be 10 Tyler from Spartanburgs. And what is he going to do? He's going to have to fight out of it, and he won't be able to coach speak his way out of it this year. He already did that last year, and that bridge is now burned. You have to show that you are going to be the better football team on Saturdays.
Yeah, like I'll say this. This is Dabo has always been ready to point to like and he's right. He is the winningest coach in Clemson history. He has the most national championships in Clemson history. Clemson has had the most successful program of its history under Dabo. So none of that goes away. He is 100% right that his success speaks to his ability to do it. The thing is that we are not living in the past. We are living in the present. We're not even living in the future where we're, thinking ahead to next year or anything. It's what are you doing right now? What are we doing this year to salvage this team? If you're a great coach, you find a way. And I believe he's a great coach, and I believe that he will find a way. But the I I know that I personally, and I know most fans of Clemson do not want to be fed the, well, if you guys are tired of my success, my winning, then I'll go, then you can just tell me to leave. We don't want that. We want you to have the success now. We want it. We want to continue to elevate this program because we believe that there are so many unique things about this program, about the way that it's run, about the culture there, about the university that we love, that we want to see it succeed at the highest level. That is why it hurts so much when they lose. That is why it matters so much when they win and when they're playing well. It's real. This is what is such great things about this. What is so great about college football is the passion within it. So when teams with passion comes frustration and comes anger when the team doesn't do well. And you know, the point is stop drinking your own rat poison. Stop looking at your own past success. Stop, feeding into the mob. Talk to your players, get your players on track, and go beat the drum off of Syracuse this week. That's what you got to do. And you got to do that this week. You got to do it next week. You got to get into that 1-0 mentality again. And you got to be focused on who on earth you are as a team rather than what everyone else is saying about you. That's what fed into this team. They're talking about getting Kate Heisman. They're talking about national championship, and you're looking at it right now, and we're 3 weeks into the season, and is that still reality? By the slimmest of statistical margins. You got to win out, and you got to hope for some chaos. We're already there. So what you got to do is you got to rally as a team and as a program and fight for whatever is in front of you. I don't care what bowl game we go to at the end. I'm going to be rooting for Clemson either way. I freaking loved the Cheez It Bowl. That was hysterical. That was so much fun. Nick and I had a blast about that, and I still loved that bowl game, even though it was a national championship. Because you know what? That's what Clemson's about. It's about winning the game in front of you.
Notre Dame, you ready?
I was going to say another. David was talking about how Clemson needs to run the table and their backs against the wall. Notre Dame's in that same spot because, I mean, unlike Clemson, who has the luxury of being able to win a conference to get in, Notre Dame does not, and it's why scheduling like it's great that Notre Dame schedules great big games, but this is where it hurts them because now, correct me if I'm wrong, Joe, they don't really have too many more high leverage games to really stat pad against, and the margin for error with a freshman quarterback is non-existent. They cannot lose again, or else they're over for the season, and it's only week 4. So it's I was shocked that first of all that Tyler Buckner is still on a roster. I didn't realize that he was still around. I could see, yeah, I know. I'll cede to Joe, but that my main thing was you had that game won, and it's just that's got to be so frustrating. So I'll let Joe go off here.
Yeah, so tough week, obviously. First week we lose to Miami, who seems to be or appears to be a very, very good football team this year. I am not a Mario Cristobal believer, but man, that guy is doing something right over there. This is 2 years in a row with two guys who were passed off from other programs to go to Miami, and now they have been the star of the show. So week one was a wash to me. Week two, you have a good Texas A&M team, and that's what they are. They're very talented. They're very good. They're well coached. Um, I will start off with saying that call at the end that was missed, where the guy was tackling the defensive
That
tackle that was
that was
going
egregious.
to going to tackle. Marcel Reed is absolutely ridiculous. But if I'm going to be real here, it should never have come down to that, and that is Notre Dame's fault because we have welcomed Tyler Buckner back when he wasn't welcomed here in the first place. Notre Dame did not want him. He left Notre Dame to go play football somewhere else because I'm sure that they didn't want him on the roster. And he went to Alabama. He was not good at Alabama. And now he is back. And in a crucial situation, he messed up the entire thing. And like you said, David, I will watch Notre Dame every week. I will hope that Notre Dame somehow gets into the playoff with a lot of chaos at the end. But you guys are also right. We don't have many high leverage games going into the rest of this year. And you're right. Because we're an independent, we don't have the luxury of, oh, we can just go win our conference and get in. But I will say your schedule consists of Purdue at home, at Arkansas, Boise State at home, NC State at home, a good USC team at home, at Boston College, Navy neutral site, at Pittsburgh, which is a very tough game, Syracuse at home, and then at Stanford. So you run the table theoretically with a little bit of chaos and a little bit of Irish luck, pun intended. I think you may be able to get in. What I will say is, and this is not making excuses for the roster or the coaching staff, but I do think this coaching staff is the right one to lead Notre Dame into the future. We have a top 3 recruiting class in this year, and that's coming in next year as freshmen. Obviously, I think that they can coach it up. This defense is not as great as it was last year. I miss Al Golden. I miss him so much. I wish I could pay a salary to come back from the Bengals. He, not that Ash is bad, but I think he was just better. And I think that the offense is great. Jeremiah Love has been underwhelming, but I think the rest of the offense has been great. I also don't know why we started spamming the direct halfback draw 16 times during that game when it didn't work except once. That was dumb on the coaching staff decision. But I do finalize this with saying, right, that I do think this is a coaching staff. Even if chaos and luck does not play a role at the end of this year, Notre Dame is still in a good spot because this is year 4 of Marcus Freeman. Last year we went to the national title and lost against a very, very good Ohio State team. We have more recruits on the way, great defensive talent on the way to rebound this defense into what it was. And the offense is already showing with CJ Carr and the rest of the talent over there that we have it and that we can get it. So that's my take on Notre Dame. But that holding call was egregious, and that ref should be fired.
That wasn't even holding. That was literally a tackle.
Yeah.
I do agree with you. I think Marcus Freeman's a great leader of men. I think you're in good hands. He's just got to figure out how to not lose the regular season games that he shouldn't. You know, I mean,
this is also better than Brian Kelly though. So I'm on a skewed view because Brian Kelly would beat the Furmans and the East Tennessees by 70, and then he would lose every night game or ranked opponent game, and it was like we can't keep doing this. So I will take Marcus Freeman any day of the week over Brian Kelly.
Don't disrespect Furman like that.
Yeah,
they were just the first person that I thought of.
I tell you what, it sounds like Notre Dame needs to not be watching Bordeaux on YouTube and his FIU rebuild series because that's all he was doing was the direct halfback draws the whole time.
Oh, it's terrible. And it didn't work. And I was actually screaming at my television. I was like, we're doing this again? Again?
That's how I feel every time we watch Clemson go 3 and out.
Oh, just wait till they start throwing the screens again.
Again?
Oh, yeah.
So yeah,
well,
I do think
screw it. Let's get to the fun stuff now. Let's get to some damn picks. So here's our update. Nick with a commanding 33 points to take the lead. Joe is by picking all favorites has been able to claw himself back into second place at 28. And I am pulling my best impression of Clemson right now and at a measly 22 points and looking at each of these being like, I'm one play away. I'm one play away from being up there in first place. So we're gonna have to lock in, come back. So boys, let's start off with a game that I think we expected to have a little bit more luster to it. We saw it on the schedule and how both teams started off the season, and then USF got in the way of Florida, and they couldn't get in the way of Miami too. But this is where we're at. Florida drops another game, and now this is where we're at. Miami, Florida.
I want it known. I sent my picks in first, so I feel like you guys are copying me here. Um, Miami's gonna. This is gonna be ugly. This is gonna be so bad. I think they win by 30. Not really, but like the possibility is there. DJ Lagway was pulling his best Sam Darnold and seeing ghosts. 5 picks last game. I think, like Joe said, Cristobal's got something cooking down there. Give me the Canes and give me them big.
The Canes are a good team. And I would not want to be Billy Napier this week because I think there's a chance he doesn't make it to Sunday as the head coach of the Florida Gators. He might get left in Miami if this is at Miami. He might get left in Gainesville if it's in Gainesville, but he ain't going to be the head coach anymore if he loses this game, especially by, like I know you said, hyperbolically, 30. I think it might actually be 30. This is a talented Miami team. And with the way that Florida roster is going right now, that's all I have to say.
Yeah, DJ Lagway maybe changing his name to DJ Ungalale the second with the way this is going.
I blame Billy
Next
Napier
up,
for that. So
we'll change it up a little bit. Not all of us picking the same game here. So Nick, why do you like these I teams?
So I'm going to be honest with you. I have not been able to figure out Indiana this year. I thought they were going to blow out some teams by more than the spread. They didn't, and then I picked the other team to cover, and then they screwed me there. So this is kind of a spite pick, but also I don't understand why Illinois was a 5.5 point dog. They are very, very good. They beat a Duke team that I think they were. I think Duke may have been favored. Maybe it was like Illinois -1.5, and they hung 40 on them. I do believe in Brett Bielema and what he's building. So give me the Illini. I think they go into Indiana and make Signetti really upset this week that he didn't schedule someone softer. So give me Illinois.
yeah, I'm still on the train of down bad programs. I think this is another down bad program. Uh, and I think Oregon State, they got away from what they were good at, which was being the physical team. The Pac-2 is down bad. I think Dan Lanning is going to go in there, and I think Oregon's also one of the better teams in the country. I think Dan Lanning is going to go in there, and I think he's going to smoke them. So give me the Ducks here, -35.5.
Yeah, Virginia. I think Tony Elliott's finally figuring it out. They're 2-1 this year. They were right in it with NC State. Thought that they were going to pull that game out, but the Wolfpack were able to win it in the end. And I don't think Stanford's a very good team this year. So Tony Elliott, I think he and the Cavaliers are gonna pull it out this week.
Speaking of NC State, I really don't like them, but I got to respect what they're doing. It's not the prettiest of games, but they win. And you know what? Duke is bad. I don't know why they're favored. So give me the Wolfpack. I hate to say it, but I think NC State wins this one by a good margin. So yeah, NC State.
I'm going to be the odd man out in this bunch. I'm taking Tennessee. I think they bounce back. I think they fought Georgia well last week and just came up just a bit short. I think Joey Aguilar is one of the better quarterbacks in the country, even though he did not have his best game last game. Uh, Give me Tennessee -39.5 over UAB. Poor UAB.
Yeah, I picked Duke twice this year. I've been burnt by Duke twice, so I am picking them again. Give me the Wolfpack here. Dave Doran early in the season is a very good coach. Hopefully they're able to pull it throughout the rest of the season. But right now, I think I feel like it's a safer bet to pick them than Duke.
I was shocked when I saw that the spread was only 6.5. I am a believer in John Mateer. I love the way Oklahoma plays. Um, Auburn's a good team, but I think the Sooners pull this one out. This should be one of the best entertainment games of the weekend. But I do believe that Oklahoma has the firepower to get it done. So give me the Sooners.
This is my bold take of the week. Um, I think Matt Rule gets it done here. I'm a Rayola believer this year. I came on the podcast in the beginning, I think in the first show, and said I'm a Rayola believer, and if I didn't, I should have. Um, I like Nebraska a lot here. I think they're plus 2.5. I think Michigan is
Yeah,
favored.
no, it's now Michigan favored by 1.5.
Okay, so I think earlier when I saw it today, it was plus 2.5. But give me Nebraska plus the 2.5. I really, really like this Nebraska team. And I am very excited to see the downfall of Michigan. So,
Oh, so this is my mistake. My bad. I have the graphic wrong. That's what was confusing me like crazy. So I will correct that in post. But you are correct. You did tell me you wanted Nebraska over Michigan, not Michigan over Nebraska. My bad.
correct. Yeah. Nebraska plus two and a
That's where
half.
the confusion. That's where the confusion is coming in.
All
Me,
good.
it's the Trojan War again. We got the Spartans versus the Trojans. Uh, it's in Southern Cal. I like the Trojans here. Um, and I need to feel good. I need some good mojo coming into next week. So give me USC over Michigan State, and let's get back into this where I can actually show my face next week in picks.
Can we talk about how ridiculous it is that that game starts at it's kicking off at 11 p.m. Eastern?
Which
So
game?
all Michigan State USC. So all the Michigan State fans that want to watch their team play, here you go, 11 o'clock at night. Like that. That's why. I mean, this is a whole other topic we can get into, but conference alignment to have the California teams and the West Coast teams go into the Big Ten and ACC is just so stupid. And like, it's just like we'll be here for 20 more minutes if we keep talking about it. But that was my dumb moment of the week.
All right, old man, it's time to take you to bed.
Posterity, I just fixed it in post. We're good now.
Yes,
The graphic has been fixed.
I like Michigan or I like Nebraska here plus the two and
Don't
a
you
half
go change it
earlier.
on me again.
No, I like Nebraska to win. They're the underdog. I am choosing them to win and cover.
Yeah. So for all you who are in the same boat as us, where your teams are reeling, um, breathe. It's still
There's always
September.
hope.
There's always yeah. There are games to be played still, and this is college football. You never know what's going to happen. For those who are feeling really good right now, their team's undefeated or whatever.
I'm
You gotta
jealous.
keep your head on the swivel. You gotta play the games. You gotta play them every week. You can't let any team catch you on the down. But this is, it's just the start of the season, boys. We still got so much more football to play, and it's gonna be so good.
I love it every week, even if my team loses miserably.
And
Please
even if
win.
they do, I'm gonna always be rooting. I'm gonna always be saying, "Let's go Tigers."
Go Irish.
Go Tigers.